Hey, how's it going? My name is Daniel Calderon and welcome back to Corner Talks. My artworks. This has been quite a journey, guys. I've been creating so many pieces of sketches, so many to basically capture and represent my childhood, the nostalgia I have for these characters, whether they're from video games, whether they're from anime, whether they're from television shows or friends, pop culture itself. This is a great outlet for me to express myself creatively. This is a great way to show you guys, what I'm all about. What were the pieces of pop culture that inspired me to become an artist, that inspired me through my works of storytelling. And I'm so happy to be sharing with you my sketches. I'm so happy to have such a supportive network of people. And with these sketches, I'm so happy that I'm able to kind of show you in detail how I envision these characters, how I envision how they should be presented, how they should be viewed, and most importantly, how they should be celebrated. So these are a look at my artworks, Volume 10. Samus from the Metroid franchise is a highly favorited, highly featured character from the Nintendo Empire. This is one that you'll see everywhere. Whether you're looking for a video game at the local Walmart or whether you're playing Super Smash Brothers, you've seen this character before. It has almost become part of our pop culture, this iconic looking armor that is being shown right here in the sketch. And I have to be honest, Metroid, I haven't really played the video games that much, really never got into it, I never cared for it. But it has a really pretty interesting storyline, and basically it's this character Samus, it's a female bounty hunter soldier that kind of is the protector of the galaxy against these space pirates that are looking to harness the power of these organisms called Metroids. They're parasitic organisms really that kind of devour life forms and drain them of their energy in a siphoned kind of fashion. Nevertheless, it's a force to be stopped. It's highly threatening, and you have Samus here that is on the run, is on a mission, I should say, to rid them from the wrong hands. This character, was highly intriguing to draw. Again, it's become not so much part of my childhood, but more so it's part of the identity of video games, and I had to draw it in the lineup of my Nintendo characters, and you'll see more and more of them. This is kind of a striking image. It's something that always resonated with me as a video game player. If you're anything like me, I thought originally that Metroid was this character. Again, that speaks to my lack of knowledge, not knowing anything about this game, this franchise, and I was quick to learn that it was a character named Samus, what you see here in this sketch, in a franchise called Metroid being those parasitic organisms. Now going into the sketch itself, again, I keep talking about this character Samus, the protagonist of the series, and I would draw Samus as opposed to any other character. And Samus here, again, we have the iconic, the kind of well-known, revered body armor that every Nintendo fan knows of. And I wanted to kind of focus in on it. Now, instead of doing a dead-on centered shot, I wanted to give it some cinematic feel, some kind of intensity to it. Have her cut off to the side. The visor was very important for me in terms of the shading to give you that kind of sheen look, that reflective kind of appearance, and then making sure that all the bulks, the gadgets, the gears, the bolts looked as solid and three-dimensional as possible. It was very important to me that it came across as convincing, especially if you're a fan of this well-known and popular franchise. So here we have Donkey Kong, another favorited character of the Nintendo Media Empire. This character, again, is kind of like a mascot, I would say. Super Mario or Luigi, you've seen him everywhere, Super Smash Brothers, again, one of my favorites. But the character has quite a number of video games under his belt. He's been in, Double Dash and the Donkey Kong series. There's one called Tropical Freeze. And, this character is silent. It doesn't really say much, but it's all through the eyes and the body language that makes you that pulls you to him more and more. That has made him a childhood favorite. Something interesting about this character is that he started off as an antagonist in the Nintendo franchise. He was seen as something like Super Mario needed to beat, a villain. And if you were a child playing this video game, you would see Donkey Kong as an opponent rather as a friend or rather as you know, a favorited character. It was just this brooding kind of ape at the top of these like step ladders, you know, throwing barrels at you. And he was just kind of like this one-dimensional kind of character that no one really cared about, kind of dismissed, or again, saw as something, a boss in a video game. But Donkey Kong soon became a character of his own. He soon became a playable character, a protagonist in his own series, and he was seen in the same lights as Super Mario. He was, you know, a lot of fun. And it wasn't just his video games, it was the character himself. You know, we saw him as like kind of a gentle giant, as opposed to, again, this brooding kind of ape that was seeking destruction for Super Mario and kidnapping, you know, Princess Peach. So regarding the sketch itself, I wanted to make it up close and personal. I wanted to capture the intensity of the character, you know, the intimidation factor, because again, he was first introduced to us as a brooding kind of ape. But then I wanted you to see in the eyes that he was a gentle giant. He was someone that was lovable. He was someone that, you know, you really shouldn't fear. And that's what made this character, I guess, so legendary, so nostalgic for so many of us children growing up. The character of Jack from the Jak and Daxter series has to be probably my favorite video game on the PlayStation 2. When I was a kid, that's all I would play. I played all three of the video games, Jak 1, Jak 2, and Jak 3. It was immersive, it was exciting, it put you in another world, it made you explore an imagination of these developers, of a different side of, you know, like a fantasy element. And it was something that wasn't a first-person shooter, it was something that wasn't a platform game. It was a combination of a lot of things. It was story-driven, it was a narrative, which I love. It had a lot of mini games as well. So there were moments when you don't see him here, but he had a sidekick that was very loud and brash and, you know, just kind of a smartass. And his name is Daxter, which you'll see in another sketch. But these two would kind of seek out, you would play as both of them. And he would kind of be the muscle and Daxter would kind of be the wits, or, you know, the sense of humor of the franchise. And there were so many things that you could have done in this game, whether it was driving vehicles, whether it was shooting at enemies, whether it was doing, like I said, those mini games, those obstacle courses with Daxter, right? You know, achieving a certain score in order to get to the next round, or, you know, beating an opponent or an enemy in order to get information out of them. But it was done so creatively, right? Like I said, you can do like a race at a track, you know, with these like futuristic scooters, and you had to get a certain record, or you had to beat them, and then it would do a cutscene. And I think I love this game a lot more because it was one of the first, if not the first, that introduced me to story-driven narrative video games. You know, ones that were cinematic, ones that treated them like full-fledged stories. You know, before that, I was playing Super Mario games, I was playing Pokemon games, and while there's stories in its own way, in its own right, not to the degree that I would perceive as valuable, I would perceive as proper, being a filmmaker myself, you know. So this game was a lot of fun. It serves a great fond memory for me, highly nostalgic. And, you know, I just enjoyed so much of the character that Jak stands for. He is very kind of reserved, kind of mysterious, and bold in a sense, and he gets very aggressive when he needs to. Regarding the sketch itself, wanted to show you that intensity, give it up close and personal, kind of like a cinematic close-up. Just show you in his eyes, like this character's been through a lot, but he's also transformed. He's become a different person entirely than when I was discussing in the first installment of him being very, you know, innocent and naive. He's now become more experienced, more seasoned, but more dangerous in a way. Thank you again, guys, for joining me on another Corner Talks. I really hope you enjoyed my discussion on my artworks, Volume 10. This, again, has been a lot of fun for me to not only draw the sketches themselves, but talk about them, talk about the history of these characters, talk about what they mean to me, and talk about really how much it means for me to see that you guys enjoy them and support me. If you agree or disagree to anything I had to say in this discussion about the characters or the artworks themselves, please leave your comments down below. I always love to see your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, and we'll talk soon.